Welcome to The Switch, podcasts that are wired to online and offline marketing.
Alrighty, welcome to The Switch, the podcast that is wired for online and offline marketing. I am your host, Steve Wigley from Burning Fruit.
And I'm Wayne Curtis from Notions Design. Cool. Great to see you and hear from you again, Steve.
Yeah, likewise. It's been a month since our last podcast, and lots has happened since we last spoke. How was your trip?
It was awesome. Went to Exmouth, and surprisingly enough, there was a person that I knew that was up there at the same time.
Surprisingly enough, hey, that was an awesome time, wasn't it?
It was. I was there for a fishing trip. You were there with family, so we had great reasons to be there.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think you got a little bit more out of it than we did. You went island hopping, didn't you?
Yeah, we went island hopping, and we went out into the Gulf, a bit of an adventure. So that was really good fun. And it was, apart from most of the guys getting eaten alive by sandflies, we caught a lot of fish and we had some good laughs, and it was a real adventure. So it was something that I've been wanting to do for a few years. It was great.
Oh, man.
And what about you, mate? I know you got blown away in Exmouth.
Blown away. We went there for a surfing trip. Didn't bring my windsurf. Just bought a surfboard. Had maybe one morning of surfing throughout the whole trip. So we had a massive load on top of our car, which we didn't really use. So, but got some good drone footage. Saw some amazing wildlife. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those places, Exmouth, you can get there at the right or wrong time. If there's a cyclone going through, forget about fishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it does get really blowy. We've had many times there where we haven't even been able to get out on the boat for 3 or 4 days. So that's very frustrating. But it's a wonderful spot. It's a great part of the world. So
absolutely. Speaking of other parts of the world, though, we've got a couple of things that have happened in the tech world that didn't go quite right. So, reopening of the borders. Is a bit of good news. What do you think about that?
Yes, I think McGowan's he keeps pushing it out, and I'm a little concerned that families might not be able to see each other over Christmas.
Yep.
And I really do feel for those people and families. But, look, we've had a good record here in WA. We've been relatively COVID-free, so that's a good thing. I wonder when it's going to officially end, although we've been told if it will.
Well, a lot of people were actually predicting we were going to get a lockdown before Christmas. For those listeners, we are in WA, in Western Australia. We haven't had a lockdown for a long time now, and we're really lucky.
Yep.
So if we don't get a lockdown before Christmas, I think the hospitality industry will be amazingly happy.
Yes.
And I think we will progress to opening up our borders come February, March time, I think.
Yeah. Let's hope it's a little earlier than that, but the powers that be are doing their best, I suppose. And but I do feel I have many friends in Melbourne. They've been through, I think it was reported it was the longest lockdown in the world for one city.
Wow.
For a length of time. So I thought I was gobsmacked, actually. I didn't realise that. So I could be wrong, but so I do feel for a lot of my friends who've got businesses over there that have really struggled. So let's hope we get back to normal as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about vaccines, will we?
No. That's a massive divide in opinion there. Yeah. And we never want to talk about it. No,
I have enough of that in my family. I've got family members that work in the medical industry, and I've got family members that are in the trades, and every night it's just on for young and old.
Geez.
It's good, healthy discussion, but I don't want to do it again.
No, let's not do it again. So on the 4th of October, Facebook had an outage. Good thing? Bad thing?
Well,
do they deserve it?
Yeah. Did that have something to do with the new branding and the new what do they call it? The Metaverse, the beginnings of the change of all things. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I've seen some very interesting podcasts and videos on and around that, and that's going to change the structure of everything.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Okay, so Zuki Boy has decided he's going to take on the Metaverse, hence the rebranding to Meta from Facebook, as an overarching thing. And this is going to be a place within a place that, look, I can see benefits, but I can also see a whole heap of community
Backlash?
problems and backlash. Essentially, they're going to set up dual worlds in complete form, and people are going to live their lives in those universes, online experiences. That concerns me a little bit. So I think there's
Hasn't
a lot
this been done before?
Yeah, there's a lot of conjecture around this as to how far that's going to go and what the implications are. And how that's going to affect our kids and our interaction, and you and I both being in the space of communication.
Yeah.
I think the jury's out on that, but it's exciting in a lot of ways, but it's also extremely scary.
That is scary. I mean, I'm all for online communication, but I'm all for human interaction as well.
Absolutely. You need them both. And
you see the impacts of the lack of human interaction every single day.
Yeah. So, this metaverse is going to have far-reaching implications in business, in communities, with our young people, our children, and then also what's going to happen to the techie savvy people and how they're going to use it and or abuse it. So the jury's out, as I said, and I have no idea how or what's going to come of it. But as I said, this may even be implicated as soon as 5 to 6 years' time. So let's see how this pans out. But this is going to be something we're going to be talking about a lot, I believe, in the future.
Yeah. And there are a couple of tech things that we're going to talk about later on that could feed into this.
Yep.
Could be the reintroduction of virtual reality, which has a couple of stuttered starts.
It has, hasn't it?
A couple of years ago, it was all the rage, and then it's just sort of died down a bit. But
off.
If instead of kids looking at their phones like that, they could be looking at their phones like that.
Yeah, yeah, and full on interaction with other people in a fake world, but I suppose for all intents and purposes, it could become the real world for so many people.
Yeah.
Again, there's pros and cons with that. Let's see what happens. I'm not sold.
Bit closer to home though. There was a Slack outage, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was absolutely panicked. Because I thought it was me, and I got my whole team to test stuff, and nothing was happening. And I even contacted my Optus, ISP, and they looked up the fact that there was a Slack outage. So I didn't even think about Slack having an outage. And they were down for maybe 12 hours.
To be honest, I had no idea.
You had no idea
about it.
Even though you're on our Slack channel.
Yeah, I know.
But it's for businesses who have relied. I mean, Slack has transformed.
It has, and I know how much you guys really depend on that. So I can imagine it was a little bit. A bit full on for 12 hours. It's a long time.
Going back to emails is not an option.
No.
And the reason why we introduced Slack was really to eliminate that email fatigue. And to be honest, I hardly get any emails these days, and Slack has just solved that problem. But don't want to go back. So 12 hours without Slack was not great.
I was going to mention that you looked a little bit grayer. There's definitely more appearing on that head.
Probably because
so I can blame Slack. Yeah, okay. It suits you though, mate. It suits you.
Thanks, mate. I think. Okay, something entertaining. Not sure if you're a sci-fi fan or not.
Yes, I am. Absolute tragic.
Tragic what? The delay?
No, it's tragic. Well, actually, yes, it's tragic that delay is occurring, but I love sci-fi. I have done since being a young boy. So
for those who aren't aware of what we're talking about Dune.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And it's massive.
And absolutely.
And the reviews are unbelievable from a visually stunning perspective. I think a lot of people are wanting to know how the story is going to be communicated through this new version as opposed to the original one. Was that back in the 80s?
84, yeah.
Wow.
And to be honest, I think it was 84. To be honest, I've tried to stay away from every single review. The only person who's actually telling me about it is my brother. He just gave me one sentence: do not go cheap.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So gold class tickets, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And my kids are definitely going to be coming to watch it, whether they like it or not. So they've just got to experience it.
Now, what's the length of it? Is it going to be like a mammoth, event? Like are we talking upwards of 2.5, 3 hours? I hope not.
I think 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's going to be. I think it's split into 2 parts as well.
Oh.
I think there's going to be a sequel.
All right. Okay.
So
that's palatable.
But to be honest, I'm just super excited that someone could actually do it, and it's not been a disaster.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to it too, and I think the only place to see it is on the big screen.
Yeah.
Second
of December.
Yeah, for those that know how, they can watch it on their big screens at home.
They can
if they wish. But I think the experience in the cinema, I still like going to see, the big blockbusters.
Yeah.
At the cinema and on the big screen with all the sound and everything, because I think that really is some kind of experience. But let's face it, the quality of movies of late has not been best.
The last time I was really, really
sad.
super excited about going to see a film in the cinema, proper sci-fi, was the last Star Wars, right?
Oh, yeah.
What was it called?
I have.
It's just so forgettable.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I walked out depressed.
Yeah.
It was just such a bad film. So I'm really hoping that this is going to be the Star Wars.
Yes.
That it really delivers.
And we're being bombarded by all the computer generated type movies, the action movies, the Marvel movies, and let's face it, they're kind of like clickbait.
Yeah.
I'm
not a Marvel
if you want
fan.
some instant action and not any real gratification at the end,
no
then
story.
Then just go along and have a look. Have that moment of excitement that it's all over and you walk away thinking, wow, that was disappointing.
Yeah. I think we're going to, maybe it's just going to be me and you in the crowd.
Yeah, I know, mate. But look, I from everything that I've seen and read, that visually it's amazing and stunning, and just the scope of it is just brilliant. And there's a whole heap of actors. Some are known for their not so great work, and some are known for doing some really interesting things. So, look, fingers crossed this is going to be a good one that we can walk away and go, now that was worth seeing it at the cinema.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. All right. Good stuff.